This is absolutely disgraceful. A brand new case of Dunkin' disrespect aimed once again right at our nation's finest. Last night, we told you about a Dunkin' Donuts employee in Connecticut who rudely refused to serve a police officer. And now tonight, we learn of another incident of disrespect, this time in Rhode Island. A Dunkin' Donuts worker wrote "Black Lives Matter" on a police officer's cup. So I want you to vote right now on Twitter. Do you think Dunkin' Donuts should have a free coffee and donut day for cops to make up for this? Tweet yes or no using hashtag Greta. Also, tag Dunkin' Donuts in your posts so that they see your vote too. Providence Police Lieutenant and Executive Board Member of the Providence Fraternal Order of Police, Roger Aspinall, goes on the record. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Very well. So tell me what happened to this officer. He went into Dunkin' Donuts and what happened?
Well, he went in on Friday afternoon. He was starting his shift, and he found the employee to be somewhat rude to him, and he got the perception that she didn't want to serve him. As he walked out of the Dunkin' Donuts, he got into his car, and he noticed written on the cup right underneath the Dunkin' Donuts logo, hashtag Black Lives Matter. He then brought the cup down, and he sat with a senior officer on the shift, and he advised him that he shouldn't drink it because he doesn't know what would be in the cup. And then that officer decided he would post the picture on Facebook and write some comments regarding what police officers are going through in society nowadays. And from there, it's been picked up everywhere.
All right. Was this officer in uniform, clearly a police officer?
He wasn't. He was in the Providence police officer's uniform.
Yeah. And in terms of the races of both, the employee was what race?
I don't know.
And this officer is what?
This officer is white.
Has Dunkin' Donuts reached out directly to you?
To me, no, they haven't. They have not reached out to us. They have tried to make an attempt to reach out to the office. The branch manager of that Dunkin' Donuts has tried to reach out to our officer, but has not been successful.
Do you have a sense that police officers have got a little bit of a target on their back right now, that there's disrespect in this nation towards police officers, or is this just a one-time deal?
No, I do. I think it's a trend nationally right now, is what you see with the Black Lives Matters group promoting violence against police officers. It's a very difficult time to be in law enforcement.
Lieutenant, thank you very much for joining us, and I hope that maybe Dunkin' Donuts will take the hint and try to make it up to a lot of police officers for their employees. And obviously, the corporate people didn't do it, but somebody did it. Anyway, thank you, Lieutenant.
Well, I thank you, and I did hear that you asked. I wanted to say that go ahead, sir. I wanted to say that you asked to have a free cup of coffee and free donut day. Our officers wouldn't take that because it's a gift, and we're not, under rules and regulations, we're not allowed to take a free cup of coffee. What I would ask is that everybody write some type of note on that cup supporting law officers and telling them you stand behind them and thank them for the job they do.
All right. Well, I hope that I don't care. It's like a free cup of coffee. I have no problem with that. But anyway, whatever. Hey, thank you, Lieutenant. Now, On the Record did reach out to Dunkin' Donuts for a comment, and their statement reads in part, "These incidents in no way represent our company's strong commitment to the fair treatment and well-being of all our guests. From first responders to the military, Dunkin' Donuts has a long history of supporting those responsible for the safety of our neighborhoods and our country." Oh, just think about it, though. It's not just, it really does set a tone and does sort of show a horrible trend. We've got these two Dunkin' Donut incidents, which were extremely disrespectful to police.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I'm shocked that Dunkin' Donuts has reached out the way they've reached out with just a bland statement. And I disagree with the other police officer. I still think that Dunkin' Donuts should just reach out and at least offer the police officers a cup of coffee. I don't
have a problem with a cop taking a donut and a cup of coffee. Do you, Katie? After all, it's like after what they do for us when we call, when we got we're being held up at gunpoint someplace.
I think at a minimum, if you do see a cop, you should say thank you for putting your lives at risk on a daily basis when you don't know you're going to be able to come home at the end of the day. Frankly, the one thing we would be doing, Greta and Ted, is perpetuating a stereotype that cops love coffee and donuts. But listen, I love it, so I'd be in for the free coffee and the free donut.
I would as well. All right. Ted, is there any way to sort of turn this trend around?
Yeah, I think it's going to take a while to do this. I think there have been a few rotten apples in the community that has been looked at, and they've been a broad brush that has been painted on law enforcement per se. But if you look at what's going on in the floods in South Carolina, and you see those first protectors out there, law enforcement, something good can come out of all of this.